My name is Ryan and I am 68 years old. The day my daughter told me I would get nothing from my late wife's $10 million bequest, the room didn't spin. My hands didn't shake. I didn't even feel angry. What I felt was something far worse. I felt erased. Not as a husband. Not as a father. But as if 42 years of marriage had been quietly edited out of existence, like a paragraph someone decided was no longer important. People imagine betrayal as explosive. Raised voices, slammed doors, courtroom drama. But betrayal, when it comes from your own child, is almost polite. It speaks calmly. It avoids eye contact. And it tells you very gently that you no longer matter. The life we built. Elena and I met when we were young and broke. Our first apartment had a window that wouldn't close and a heater that only worked if you kicked it just right. We laughed through it. We always laughed through everything. She had a way of touching my arm when she spoke, like she wanted to make sure I was really there, really listening. We grew together. Slowly, honestly. No sudden wealth, no shortcuts. Just discipline, patience, and a shared belief that tomorrow mattered. When our daughter Claire was born, Elena cried harder than the baby. She held her and whispered promises about safety, opportunity, and love. I worked longer hours. Elena learned investing when others dismissed it as too complicated. Every dollar had a purpose. Every sacrifice had a reason. Claire. The illness. When Elena got sick, the world narrowed. Hospitals replace calendars. Medication replaces routine. Hope becomes something fragile you handle with both hands. I learned how to read her face, how to tell if she was in pain even when she smiled. At night when she thought I was asleep, she would whisper, "What if I don't make it?" I always answered the same way. "You will." But toward the end the questions changed. "Will you be okay alone?" That was the question she asked most. And every time I lied. Yes. After the funeral. Grief does strange things to time. Days rush by. Nights stretch endlessly. Claire stayed close at first. She organized documents, spoke to lawyers, took control. I was grateful. I was numb. When she suggested she handle the estate, I didn't hesitate. "I trust you," I told her. She nodded but didn't look at me. That should have been my first warning. The sentence that changed everything. The call came a month later. "Dad," Claire said, her voice carefully neutral, "you should know you won't be receiving anything from Mom's bequest." I waited for her to continue. She didn't. "What do you mean?" I asked. "The money, the 10 million, it's not for you." I searched for humor, for misunderstanding. "I'm her husband," I said softly. "You were," she replied, "and you already have enough." Enough. As if love had a limit. As if loyalty expired with age. The meeting. At Claire's house, she laid out paperwork like evidence. She spoke quickly, confidently, like someone who had rehearsed. "Mom wanted the future secured. You don't need luxury, I do." I studied her face. Not anger. Certainty. That scared me more. "You don't even want to ask what I need," I said. She sighed. "Dad, please don't make this difficult." Difficult. Another word that erased a lifetime. Doubt. That night I couldn't sleep. Elena had always been fair, sometimes painfully so. She never forgot birthdays. Never favored one person over another. The idea that she would leave me with nothing, it didn't sit right. Grief tells you not to trust your instincts. Love tells you to. The letter. In Elena's old desk drawer, one she rarely let anyone touch, I found the envelope. My name. Her handwriting. Inside was not just a note but a quiet reassurance from the woman who had known me better than anyone else. "Ryan, if ever my absence causes confusion, remember this," I planned carefully. "Please speak to Mr. Hargrove directly." I made sure my intentions were clear. My knees buckled. She had anticipated this. She had protected me, even from beyond the grave. The lawyer's truth. Mr. Hargrove didn't hesitate. "Ryan, you are central to this will." The words hit me harder than grief. He explained everything. Joint authority, shared control, explicit language. Claire had selectively interpreted the will. Not illegally yet. But dishonestly. I felt sadness more than anger. Where had I lost my daughter? The court. Courtrooms are where families become strangers. Claire sat across from me, polished and composed. I felt old. Tired. But when Aliner's words were read aloud, something inside me straightened. This estate exists because of our partnership. Partnership. That word mattered. The judge didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. The truth was already loud enough. The verdict. The ruling was clear. I was not excluded. I was not secondary. I was not disposable. Claire's control was limited. Aliner's voice final. I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I just closed my eyes and breathed. Aftermath. Outside the courtroom, Claire accused me of humiliation. But later, much later, she came to my house. No folder. No defenses. Just a daughter who had let fear become cruelty. I was afraid, she said, of losing control, of being second. I nodded. So was your mother, I replied, but she chose trust instead. A different legacy. I didn't cling to the money. I honored it. I funded scholarships. Healthcare initiatives. A small foundation in Aliner's name. When Claire asked why, I answered simply. Because money should heal what fear tries to break. The moral. Inheritance is not about wealth, it is about intention. Money can divide families, but only when love is treated like a transaction. Truth, patience, and courage don't shout. They wait. And sometimes they win quietly. My name is Ryan. I am 68 years old. I didn't go to court to take something. I went to court to protect a life that had already given me everything. And in the end, I learned this. The greatest legacy is not what we leave behind, but how faithfully we defend the love that built it.